We are awaiting word any day now on whether the Justice Department will ask the U.S. Supreme Court to intervene and allow the administration to enforce its ban on accepting transgender military recruits starting January 1st. Let's talk about that and other legal issues with George Washington University law professor Jonathan Turley. He joins us tonight from Chicago. Good evening, Professor. Nice to see you.
Hi, Mike.
What's your thinking on where this transgender ban is heading at this stage, sir?
Well, this is as interesting an area as constitutional law can provide. The status of transnational citizens has been hotly debated because it is not discrimination based on religion or things that normally trigger what's called this strict scrutiny or the highest level of review. And yet courts have found that by singling out transnational military personnel and recruitees, the government was engaging in the violation of equal protection guarantees. It's a new question. As it stands, the Supreme Court has never given special protection for this group. And so we could be having a major decision coming out of the Supreme Court if it accepts this case.
If it doesn't accept the case, where are we heading from there, sir?
Well, the administration can simply take its losses, but that would mean that in January, the policy the president wanted would not be fully implemented. My guess is that they will carry out the president's wishes and challenge this and try to push it before the Supreme Court as much as they can. But regardless of that commitment, the court could decline it. You know, there is a sort of intra-court politics that goes on. Justices count heads when they vote whether to accept a case. They often hold back that vote if they think they might not win.
Another huge legal issue from the first year of the Trump administration, of course, is the travel ban. Here's the White House from Fox News Sunday the other day.
The people here from Haiti are here from an earthquake that happened roughly 10 years ago under temporary protective status. We have tens of thousands of people still in our country from Honduras and from Nicaragua from a hurricane that happened in 1999. Tens of thousands of people under temporary protective status. Congress needs to change these laws as opposed to continual 6-month extensions of people that are here from 10 and 20 years ago.
So, Professor, the travel ban at this stage, where are we heading on that front?
Well, this has been as convoluted a path as you can get in terms of constitutional cases. This is sort of third time on a match, which is not normally that lucky. The first two versions of the travel ban essentially ended before the Supreme Court could review them. The first ban, which was, I think, poorly written, but I still think the law supported the president, was replaced by a much better written second ban. That made it all the way to the Supreme Court, and some of us were betting on the president winning there. But then that expired, and the third ban was issued. Now, what's interesting is the Supreme Court recently lifted an injunction imposed by these lower courts and allowed the ban to be fully implemented without any of the prior limitations. That, to many of us, constituted an indication that the court favored the president. And the court also made it clear they wanted a ruling on this, which indicated that they will accept it when the government or the other party asks for the review. In this case, it'll be the government.
Another major issue that is out there, of course, is the Russia probe ongoing. Some lawmakers on Capitol Hill are worried that President Trump may try to fire Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Here's the Democrat view on that front.
This president does not respect the rule of law, nor does he respect the various agencies, that are charged with the responsibility of protecting us in terms of law enforcement. If you think about the pattern over the last year, he is constantly putting down the very institutions that keep us free.
And of course, the president's legal team, Jay Sekulow, talking to the Wall Street Journal on Monday, saying, quote, "I know we collectively, the lawyers, are looking forward to an expeditious wrapping up of this matter." Professor Turley, are we getting close, or is this going to drag on for much of the rest of this term?
Well, using the word expeditious and special counsel or independent counsel in the same sentence is usually a mistake. These investigations go on for a long time. He has 2 pending cases, a plea bargain that still we haven't seen what was delivered. Those 2 cases alone would push this investigation for a year or so. But what the White House may be talking about is they expect some conclusion on the Russian collusion issue. What I think the White House can take a certain degree of comfort in is that they're finishing this year with no indictment that's directly related to the campaign or to the current Trump White House. These are all matters that were largely focused on other issues. That has to be good news. Many people in Washington hoped that they would have stockings filled with subpoenas by Christmas. That hasn't happened. And so there is some reason for them to be optimistic, but I would never put a timeline on it, and I would never bet on what's coming down the pike.
Professor Jonathan Turley, live in Chicago, thanks so much for your time and your analysis.
Thanks, Mike.